Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Allahu Akbar. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That's better. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Absolutely great. That's wonderful. My name is Rafa'El Hakiym-Bey. Repeat after me as you did. Rafa'El Hakiym-Bey. My name is Rafa'El Hakiym-Bey. We're here to talk to you about a variety of things. I won't be long. I want you all to be able to receive the message from these great speakers who are much better than I am at speaking. One of the things I want to talk about is, well, first of all, I rise giving praise to the great God of the universe. The causeless called the rootless root, from which all things spring forth. I want to give highest honors to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. This man behind me on this picture. And I'm sure the speakers will get more into about who he is and what he brought to us later. I want to give honors to the educators. Without the educators, we'll have an uneducated future. All right. I want to give honors to you all. I want to give honors for the attention that you all are giving us. So I got a question. When you woke up this morning, this is a question that I asked last week when we came as well. When you woke up this morning, prior to coming to school, how did you feel?
Tired.
Feel tired? Who said bored? You feel bored? Hungry? Mad? Happy? Who said happy? You said happy? Who said? You was in a good mood? All right. We got happy and good mood. What else? Indifferent. Ooh, that's a big word.
Irritated.
That's good. Irritated? Who said it? Who said this? I heard it. I heard irritated. That was you, don't I? So irritated. Indifferent. What that word mean?
It means it's you don't it's just some kind of calm state, but it's not actually something that's calm. It's more austere, like stern, or not actually stern, but I don't know how to describe some things because I interpret things differently. But I'm sorry. So it means you understand, right?
Absolutely, I understand. But I asked you to explain because a lot of people. Yeah.
Yes. So basically.
So you felt blah.
Yes.
All right. So happy. I heard happy, and what did you say? Oh, wait.
I said I was in a good mood.
You was in a good mood. You said happy. What was it that made you feel happy and in a good mood this morning?
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Okay. The fact that you had another day to live. Praise God. What else? Somebody said irritated. Why did you feel irritated this morning? You'll put you on the spot. And if you don't want to tell me, it's fine. You don't have to say this. It's fine. It's fine. Who else said something else? Why did you feel mad this morning?
Because I'm tired of getting up at 6:30 every day.
You're tired of getting up at 6:30 every day. You want to be successful in life. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Who want to be successful in life? You don't want to be successful? Okay. So everybody raise their hands, right? And in order to be successful in life, what are some things that you have to do to be successful? Make sacrifices. Perfect. You have to go to school.
Put in work.
Somebody say motivation. You got to put in work. Say what? I heard something else.
Be determined.
Be determined. What else? What are some other things you have to do to be successful? Set goals. Make plans for your goals. Execute your plans. Awesome. Now, one of the things that we have to do to be successful is something I don't see anybody in here doing right now. What is that?
Read.
Notes. Nobody got any paper out taking notes. So when you have speakers come to you, they may have something to offer that may benefit you in the long run. So it would behoove you. Anybody know the word behoove? Context clues. It would behoove you to take notes and write down what the speakers are talking about. Now, before you move, you don't have to move. If you don't have it, it's fine. We have it recorded, so it's okay for right now. But anytime somebody comes to speak to you in front of you, always have paper, pencil and paper, or pen and paper to take notes. Okay? Whether it's that you're going to write the speaker's name down, you're going to write down some key words that he may have mentioned, some key phrases, or whatever the case may be. Because there may be something that he mentioned that may be of interest to you, and you may want to, be able to go back and research it because it may benefit you in the long run. Okay? All right? Okay?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. So one of the things I want to talk about real quick, this is a book called The Four Agreements. This book basically talks about how we have the power within ourselves to manifest our own, the goals and the things that we set out for ourselves. And those, that power comes from within us, right? And we make agreements with ourselves every day by the words that we speak, by the things that we put into the universe, all right? So, for instance, what are some agreements that we make with each other? What are some names that we call each other that we should not call each other? Don't curse.
Female dog.
Female dogs.
A garden tool.
Garden tool.
All of them right there.
Oh, okay. All right. This is okay. Cool. Stupid, retarded, dumb, slow. We call each other. Oh, that profanity. The brother mentioned Negro. All right. How many heard of the word Negro? Where did that word come from?
Slavery.
Crackers.
Be nice.
That word comes from, everybody says slavery. So if we all know that word came from slavery, why is it in our vocabulary to refer to each other as such?
One
at a time, hands raised.
Because, like, they use it against us, and we use it, we want to, like, make the word good, I guess, and use it against us.
But how is that beneficial to us? If we're trying to make a word that means something, try to make it mean what it's not. That's not very smart, is it? Right? But why do we continue to refer to ourselves by that word?
We're so used to it.
Because we're so used to it. What else? Oh, I'm sorry. You had a hand up for me.
I think also the reason why people use that word is they want to fit in. Because I think a lot of people nowadays, you have people who like, they may not say it, but they see their friends say it, they have people that they're cool with say it, they're like, oh, it's okay to say it, so they don't have a problem with it.
So it becomes a trend, right? So the word becomes trendy and we follow along with the trend. So if there's something, y'all heard of the phrase, if your friend jump off the roof, you're gonna jump too? Yeah. Who said that? My mama. So just because somebody refers to the other as Negro, doesn't mean that we have to continue along with their trend, right? So, this man, as we mentioned, we're gonna get into that as well. This man taught us that, that we are not these words that were given to us during the time of slavery. And so that's a large part of what we're getting at, with our presentation is that we have an identity. Grant mentioned, that's how we say it, mentioned, there's some things in society that we can't get in our school settings that, other organizations have to come and teach you all, right? So he taught us our identity here in America. And so we'll get to that. But I just want to read something from this book. It's called The Four Agreements, all right? And the Four Agreements talks about, it says that you should be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. Anything funny? The next one says, don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. The next one is, don't make assumptions. All right? The next one is, always do your best. Okay? Now, in the chapter of being impeccable with your words, I'm just going to read a little bit so that we can, I can give you an idea of what the book is about and what the message that is conveying. So it says, the first agreement is the most important one, and also the most difficult one to honor. It is so important that with just this first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence I call heaven on earth. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. Why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. And remember we talked about that word Negro, right? Somebody else named us that word. So we continue to carry on that name, and then we continue to carry on with the principles that allude to it, all right? So the word, there's a definition on the board. It says Negro.
You can scroll up so it's more.
It reads Negro. It says anthropology, no longer in technical use. A member of the peoples traditionally classified as the Negro race, especially those who originate in sub-Saharan Africa. Older use, often offensive. A black person, notice black in lowercase.
Now the word Negro and black are literally the same word. So Negro is the Spanish rendition of the word black. So, all right, so keep that in mind. So it said, your word is the gift that comes directly from God. And it says, the Gospel of John in the Bible, speaking of the creation of the universe, says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God. And it says, through the Word, you express your creative power. It is through the Word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the Word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through the Word. All right? Who can tell me what that's conveying? What does that mean? I was like, yeah.
I guess it means your voice is your main gift.
Your voice is your main gift. Okay, what else?
Words have power.
Words have power, right? So that word that's on the screen, it was someone else who labeled us that word, and along with that word came meaning that they defined, right? And there are principles that allude to that word, right? So when we refer to each other by that word, we, in the long run, we tear each other down. All right? That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, any questions for me? I'm gonna step back and allow the masters to do what they do. I just wanted to share that with you all. Any questions?
Question behind you.
Do I go around and speak to people? Yes and no. What is? What inspired me to do to speak to people? You all. Because if we don't educate you, then our future is uneducated, right? Hopefully I'm not misspeaking for the teachers, but that may be what inspired them to teach you all. So this is what inspired us to come out and teach, so that we can correct the issues that we have in our society, with us as a people. So we want to correct those issues, but we have to educate you in the correct way. Okay? Yes, ma'am. The name of it, or you want this one?
I don't want book. Copy of the book.
Okay, I get it. I'll show it to you. You can write it down. Anybody else? Yes.
Does this actually change the way we communicate with each other with having mass identity crisis?
If we change the way that what?
We communicate with each other.
That we would have a mass identity crisis?
Yes.
We already have a mass identity crisis. That's a good question. So if we change the way that we, or if we learn who we actually are, then that identity crisis will be resolved. And in essence, we will understand where we come from to know where we're going, right? And so we'll be able to, see ourselves and each other and be able to interact with one another in a productive way. Yes, sir.
So to sum it all up, you're trying to say, rather than saying something, rather than just saying things blatantly, you have to think about it. I mean, words are, like people always say, 60 stones can break my bones, words can't hurt me, but words are one of the most influential things in history. Words can obviously hurt someone and nearly kill someone.
That's right.
And people commit suicide, do gruesome things all the time, all day, every second, just because they heard someone say something.
Absolutely.
Now, in my opinion, words are more dangerous than physical activity rather.
Absolutely. And in this book, it talks about making agreements, right? And so the words that we speak to each other, these are agreements that we make with each other. So if you call me a name, or you refer to me in a negative, derogatory manner, and I believe what you're saying, I made an agreement, right? I made an agreement with the words that you spoke, right? There's power in the tongue. So we have to speak life and speak positivity, speak love into our environment so that we can receive that energy back. All right? Any more questions? Wrap up my time, please. We good? Okay. Thank you for your attention.
حي على الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر حي على الصلاة